After blowing up and ending Series 1 on day 18, we're doing something completely different today, a full tutorial on how to actually solve Minesweeper. Honestly though, I need this more than anyone because the mistake I made with the 1-2 rule is exactly what caused our disaster on day 18. Today we're going to work on a medium board and stick around until the end because I'm bringing up the exact screen where I went wrong to show you how to avoid making the same mistake that I made. So let's start our medium board by clicking here. And that's quite a good click actually, it gives us loads of information. So let's start going along this side. So we've got 1 there and then a 2, but because there's only 1 there we know that's safe, which means that's a 2 and that's a 2, so that's a mine. Immediately we can start opening up the board and doing a chord there where you left click and then right click immediately after. It shows us a lot more of the board. Let's carry on going. So we've got a 2 there and a 2 there. Let's chord. The 4 we can't touch yet, so let's come into this corner where we can definitely work on some safe mines. That is safe, and now we can finish going up this section here. So we've got that 2 there, that 2, so that is safe. We've got a 2, 2, which means that is the 4, that satisfies the 3, so that is safe, and that is safe. We can finish off going along the bottom. We've got a 1 there, that means that's a mine. That 1 means that's a mine with that 2, so we can click there. We've got a 3, so we know that is a mine. That 2 is satisfied by this mine and that mine, so we can click there. We've got a 1 on its own, which is hanging free, which means we've got a mine there. This 2 is satisfied by the 2 mines that we've placed, so we can click there. This 1 is satisfying that one, so we can open up this corner by going there. This 1 can only have a mine there, which means this is safe. We've got a 3, which means there and there. This 2 can only be satisfied by going in this space, and that clears us the 4. So that's the entire left side of the board cleared in just over a minute. We're really rushing through this medium board. So place a mine there from the easy ones, and we might as well place 1 there as well. This is pretty easy as well actually. We can see the 1 there, so we know that is a mine and that is a mine. We can click, we can click, we can click, we can place that mine. Let's come back to that section once we've worked up from this mine, and it should tell us exactly where the mines are without getting into any trouble. Actually that 2 tells us a lot there. We can click there, there and there from that 2. So we've got a mine there. It's quite an easy board actually, this one. We've been blessed with what we've got. Let's carry on working our way through. We've got a 1 there. That 2 must be satisfied by putting a mine there, which will also satisfy that 3. That corner is done. That 2 is satisfied by these mines, these mines. We can start working up this right hand side of the board. Have we got any more? Yep, that 2 satisfied by there. That 2 must have a 2 there, which satisfies that 2, which satisfies that 3. Right, this is really an easy move. When you've got a 2 that has only got a horizontal gap next to it, you know that those 2 must be mines. That's a nifty little trick to remember. This is where we run into a little bit of trouble. Let's see if we can solve this by pure logic or whether we are going to have to click a 50-50. If you do know how to solve this board without taking a 50-50 guess, then I would love to hear your comments below. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason why I'm going to click here, but I'm going to assume that that is a safe click. Correct. Which allows me to fill that 3 in, which gives me this 2. Which gives me that 3, which then satisfies that 3, and we've only got 1 mine left. It's always worth keeping your eye on that mine in the top. It just gives you an idea of what might be left on the board, assuming that you've put all the mines in the right place. That's 3 is satisfied, so it can go there. We know that the last mine is there, and that should clear the board. So that's how to play Minesweeper, and as I said, we're also going to show you what went wrong on the first, or on day 18 of the first series of 1 click a day. So bear with me and I'll just bring that screen into the frame and we can have a look at what I did wrong. So you can see here, this is the board on day 18 when we exploded, and I tried to explain the 1-2 rule, or the 2-1-2 rule. You can see that I've placed a mine there and a mine there. The rule that I got wrong, and I don't know why I did this, but basically when you have a 2-1-2 rule like this, the mines should always go on the outside. So you'll actually see in the board as well, now I'll move the frame forward in a second, that that's where the mine should have been here, and that's where the mine should have been from this too. And if we did that, it would have opened up the board and we had a much better chance of progressing and moving forward. Let me just bring it forward on the clip that shows where the mine should have been. Yep, so as you can see there, this is where the game actually tells you at the end when you've got it wrong, where the correct mine places would have been. So you can see the X's there and there, which is where I incorrectly marked them. And as you can see, that's where it should have been, on the outside of the 2 and on the outside of the 2, which would have helped us solve the game.